Hello and welcome to the France 24 interview. Our guest today is Ayad Allawi. He is Iraq's Vice President. So Vice President, thank you very much for being on the France 24
Thank you for having me.
set. Obviously the situation in Iraq is very tense, very volatile. Several weeks ago there was a lot of talk that the Iraqi government, with the support of others, would retake the town of Mosul that was taken by Daesh last year. However, this hasn't happened, and on the contrary, we've seen Daesh taking control of Ramadi, the capital of the al-Anbar province. How can you explain that?
To start with, I think the declaration of April as the month to get ISIS out of Mosul was wrong. And it is wrong to talk about military strategies on the TV, and especially in pinpointing dates and specific dates and specific areas of operation. So I didn't take it then that this was a serious matter, their declaration. Secondly, and unfortunately, Iraq still lacks very important issues and very important and significant achievements. It does not have a proper reconciliation. The people are divided of Iraq.
More than ever.
More than ever. It's getting more and more so. We don't have the right institutions, because the right institutions can be only developed once there is a reconciliation, when there is a harmony amongst the people. Then you develop your strengths and your professional institutions, including the armed forces. That's why I think we need now, more than ever, a very clear-cut strategy aimed at securing victory, military victory, and securing political victory, and maintaining the victory. These are the issues that need to be addressed immediately, professionally, and we should embark on this. And this strategy should take into account the strategies of the international community.
Right. I mean, just to go back to Daesh, I would say the military campaign. How can you explain that what happened in Mosul, again, basically took place in Ramadi, with Iraqi army basically vanishing and not fighting? What is the problem? Is it a leadership problem? Is it a political leadership problem? Why is this?
It's a political problem initially. Essentially,
who is to blame? Who is to blame for this?
It's a political problem. You can't blame anybody, but what you have to blame is, since occupation, the state of Iraq was dismantled. Not only the overthrow of the regime and the dismantlement of the institutions, army, intelligence, police, judiciary. We are paying the price now, because since the dismantlement of the state of Iraq in 2003, there have been a very sectarian policies, and the sectarian environment prevailed in Iraq. And this sectarian environment prevented the process of reconciliation and laid obstacles against the political process. So we are here today because of the mistakes that have been committed 10 years ago and after 10 years.
Would you say that today Iraq is on the verge of collapse?
No, I don't say this. I don't believe this will happen. I think we will lose some incidents, as we have lost Mosul and lost Ramadi and Anbar. But I don't believe that we are going to lose the war against ISIS. On the contrary, I believe that we are going to emerge victorious at the end of the day. We just have to do our housekeeping well.
But you need more intelligence, more weapons.
Exactly,
what do you need?
Exactly. We need more intelligence. We need accurate intelligence. We need more weapons. We need ammunition. We need advanced weapons. And we need, most importantly, to build an army based on reconciliation amongst the Iraqis.
Are today militias a danger for
Of course.
Iraq?
They have been and they will be. And
from all sides, Sunni militias or Shiite militias?
Both. Unless everything is under the control of the state, the control of the armed forces, it will be dangerous. Whether it's a small, tiny militia or a big, huge militia, whether it's Sunni or Shi'i. We need the government, we need the state of Iraq to have ownership of these institutions.
The Prime Minister, Mr. Abadi, has replaced Nouri al-Maliki, who was pushed out by both the US, Iran, everyone together because he was too sectarian.
By democratic process.
Right. Is he better?
So-called.
Is he better, Mr. Abadi, in reaching out? Because one of his speeches when he started to say, I'll reach out to the Sunni community, is this happening? Or is this just talk?
He is talking well.
Is he acting well?
He is acting. The acting is still, he is under a lot of constraints. He is faced by a lot of problems, including the problem of ISIS, where it is attacking every day, not giving a breathing space to the government to form a strategy. And also, again, the heavy sectarianism still prevails in the country. And this is, believe me, this is preventing very important issues to be addressed. It's preventing reconciliation. It's preventing institutionalizing the country and the institutions. And it's preventing really facing ISIS with a uniform voice, with a united voice. This is what's happening.
Do you think that Iran is more present than ever, maybe more than under Nouri al-Maliki in Iraq today?
It has been present. It is increasing its presence in Iraq. This is all because of the vacuum that have been created. This is all because of the lack of decision and vision by the international community. Iraq is a very important country, both geopolitically speaking and wealth-wise. But because of what happened, it was rendered very weak and a vacuum has been created. And this vacuum still exists until today. I tried in my period to close this vacuum, to get back the institutions, but unfortunately later on they were almost dismantled again and fell under the heavy pressure of sectarianism. And this is still happening. Abadi means well, he wants to do reforms, but he needs to take active steps now to do these reforms. Otherwise, he would be doomed as a failure if he doesn't do this.
Is Iran a threat to Iraq's stability?
It's a threat to the regional stability, not only to Iraq's stability.
In the US Congress, there was a bill to propose arming directly the Peshmerga in Kurdistan, but maybe other militias. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, let them arm the Iraqi army first. Let them develop the Iraqi army. Let them help the Iraqi army before going and creating militias left, right, and center. The Kurds are well organized. They have the Peshmerga. They are part and they are embedded in the constitution. So arming them is very important. But arming them have to pass all through the central government. The rest of supplying weapons to individuals and groups is not right unless these are supplied by and through the government of Iraq and through the armed forces.
Just the last point. Sorry.
I think what is happening, the Congress or some people in the Congress, because they have problems with the administration, American administration, they presented this suggestion to the Congress.
As a last question, you've seen what happened in Yemen, a kind of regional intervention. Do you think that if the situation continues to worsen in Iraq, there might be a need for a regional intervention, boots on the ground from other countries? The US has said no, but do you think in the end this might be the necessary last step to save Iraq?
It might be, but this should be preceded by embarking on a real and genuine course of supporting the Iraqi army, both by the government of Iraq and by the allies of Iraq.
That's not happening.
That's not happening. The reason why what happened in Ramadi happened is because they have been crying for weapons and ammunition for the last 4 months, the units in Ramadi. That's why they withdrew to al-Habbaniya area, because there with the others can protect themselves until they can launch a re-attack. That's why it is important for the international community to start supporting the Iraqi army and the government of Iraq.
But as a last resort, there might be a need for
The last resort, if things remain and the international community refrain from doing its job in a right way to the Iraqi people and to the Iraqi military, then of course some kind of intervention is required, especially from a regional force rather than an international force, and a regional force from within the accepted and moderate countries. But before that becomes a reality, we need to beef up and support our own institutions, the armed forces, the police, and get more and more capacity building immediately by recruiting ex-army officers, ex-soldiers, and by recruiting volunteers who are ready to be trained immediately.
Okay, Ayad Allawi, thank you very much for answering our questions, and thank you for watching this edition of the interview here on France 24.